So you got older siblings?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest?
Yeah.
And so what happened? How do you get into the comedy racket?
I just, it's very...
After college, you finished college?
I didn't actually. So...
Got an incomplete?
I started, so I have all my credits except my language credits, and I'm fluent in Greek.
Yeah.
And I got to basically the point, I only went to college because my mom wanted me to, basically.
Yeah.
I got a scholarship to a local UMBC.
What were you studying?
I was studying history, political science, media. I got a public affairs scholarship.
Yeah. At a high school?
Out of high school, yeah. And I was like kind of a history dork, and I was like, interested in like, growing up in Baltimore City, I was like, I want to change things.
Sure.
And then I'm like, I'd rather just talk about how little my dick is at a wing restaurant. That's how I'd like to spend my 20s, actually.
Smaller than the wings?
Yeah, well, I guess depends. It depends what size wings and what state my penis is in. So typically no, I'd like to say, but and so, I started doing open mics in college, and I was like, this is the best thing. I love doing this. This rocks. I knew I wanted to do comedy. It was so clear. This was the only thing I've ever liked.
Any of the guys that you were with keep going? In the open mics?
In the open mic, the guys, there was a ton of people that were pretty funny. I met Wardell when he was like 16.
Yeah.
And, so I actually drove here with him when I was like 20 or
Wardell?
whatever. Yeah, Brandon Wardell.
Yeah.
So he was like, this little, this child that had like 15 nice minutes and we were boys. Still to this day, we're boys. He's, the guys, a lot of people that I came up with, Jamel Johnson is still out here. He's hilarious.
Yeah. So when did you how long did you kick around Baltimore?
I moved right around that time when I started opening for those guys. I was like, because you're like, well, now I'm a working comic.
You moved to where?
New York, to Astoria.
That's when I moved there.
To your bed bug ridden apartment around then. And so I don't graduate. They let me walk because if you have less than 8 credits, they assume you're going to finish in summer school. And I just wanted my mom to get the picture of me in the gown. Yeah. So I still, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, I have every credit except my language credits.
And that one you could breeze through if you told them.
I could take a test. I could go take a test whenever, but I think it's funny not to have to almost get it.
It was haunting to me. I was undergrad for 5 years and I had an incomplete and I was like, oh my God.
It still gets to you?
Well, I finished it. But
finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I like not finishing it. It makes me feel, I have a weird sense of superiority. Where it's like, I don't give a fuck. I could do it right now. I'm not going to.
I did life without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me.
I lied when I needed to get day jobs. I just said I graduated. Nobody fucking checked.
Why not? You just show them the picture.
Yeah. Here's me shaking hands with the chancellor. Would a non-graduate have access to this?
Yeah, do you have a diploma? Look at the picture. What is he handing me?
And so I moved when I'm 25, 26 to New York.
So what's going on there? So you're doing there was not an agenda. Like when I was looking, when I looked at you up, and I'm associated with politics on some level, but I didn't even know what the fuck the dirtbag left was. Until today.
Well, so when I moved after like a year or two, me and my buddies, Nick Mullen and Adam Friedland, we started Come Town, our podcast. Yeah. And that's the first thing that popped.
I think I know Nick Mullen.
Nick's hilarious.
Yeah.
Super funny guy.
Oh, he's a funny guy. Yeah.
Super funny.
Yeah.
Really and we had that show was, we got successful, again, by accident. My whole career has felt like something that's
So when you get in, so you're doing these rooms in New York, and podcasting is just a thing just starting?
It was literally, here's how I felt about it.
So it's Come Down audio?
It was audio. We were like video, no nothing. And honestly, my thoughts were, I was like, podcasting's over. Right. I was like, Maron, comedy, bang, bang, This American Life. That was it. It's done. Yeah. And Mullen was fucking right, and he was like, let's just do it. I thought for sure we would do like 7 episodes. Yeah. Because every comic was doing that at the time. Right. They would do 10 episodes.
They'd see 9 people listened and they quit.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the reason we even associated with the Dirtbag Left at all is because Nick was roommates with a couple people that were in Chapo Trap House.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I happen to have, I'm not really super political in my act or even, but if something comes up, I'll talk. I won't shy away from talking about it. My comedy is a lot more just like interpersonal. I'm so personally driven that if you pay attention, you could probably see what my politics are.
Well, that's me too. I know I can't talk from anywhere but my own point of view.
Right. And so, the whole political thing is very funny because I think just by having friends who are
aligned
or political, that it's like we just got we were just friends with them. And same thing, I have a friend, friends who are, that's their thing, is being political, Twitch streaming, political stuff like that. But yeah, and so it's funny that our show ever got aligned with any politics, because if you listen to the show, the whole point is just like the dumbest, having fun with your friends, and it's like middle school.
And talk about
you would
sex?
just say, not even sex.
Yeah.
It's dumber than that.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about sex too, but it would be like, it's just shitting on each other.
Sure.
Stream of consciousness bits, saying, it's kind of what you're saying about being 60 and being dirty. I kind of felt like, well, we in our 20s being the cum town guys was awesome, but it's like, we're going to be 40 and being the cum town guys,
right,
So we're all doing our own shit now. They got the Adam Friedland show, which is really funny. And I did my own podcast that's a little more, it's advice.
Yeah.
It's advice plus interview
Still do
stuff. I still do Stavvy's World, yeah.
And it's video though?
Video, yeah.
Yeah. You made the jump.
I made the jump, brother.
Yeah.
Because it really was just, I wanted to make something that I could just do. My issue with podcasting was that, well, when you're doing it with two other guys and everything is sort of like your dynamic, you can't really pre-record shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wanted to go on the road. We all wanted to kind of do our own shit.
Yeah.
And so it was like, we're doing 5 episodes in 2 days, but it's like the same guys talking about the same shit.
You do it at a time and you do call-in?
I do a bunch at a time. I have a guest. I have a friend. If you're ever in New York, you want to do the show, we'd love to have you. And then people call in with their voicemails. So we reply to there. And then we do a Patreon episode where they call in directly.
Yeah.
And that's really fun to be able to just talk to people.
Yeah.
And,
That's interesting though what you said about where you are personally politically and then what you do on stage, because for me, that's always been the mix that you got to pull off.
Sure.
Is that, for me, and you don't seem to want to do it, which is fine, but like, I have politics, how they run through me.
Sure.
And what my interpretation is, but I be careful, I'm always sort of like, I always want to ground it in the fact that, I'm an imperfect person with problems.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I do think about this.
Totally. Yeah. And I do think on some level, I guess, I also like to think of it holistically of like, that is still a passion of mine. And I still think inequality in this country is incredibly out of control. And the stuff I went to school for, public policy, and I mostly was focusing on welfare policy. But I just know that if I was really serious about those things, I would have fucking gone to, studied more, gotten a job.
And had like a thankless civil
Exactly. I mean, I was a tutor in Baltimore City for a couple of years when I was open micing. And when I quit, I was like, I have to quit because I'm not pouring my whole being into this.
Yeah, and also when you have ego or you want to, be recognized
totally
for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty thankless world. Like I got pretty obsessed with social workers and like no one ever talks about them and they're kind of holding things together barely.
It's crazy.
It's an amazing
you should literally triple what they make.
And teachers too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess the way I look at it is I poured myself into getting good at stand-up.
Yeah.
And I do think there will be kind of a later, like I'm even kind of thinking about, I got a place in Baltimore. My family still lives there. So I'm spending a little more time there this year, just kind of hanging out with them, reconnecting with stuff. And I was like, I want to do some, charity work in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I do comedy is because I had a teacher in like 2nd and 3rd grade who was like, he was doing community theater.
Yeah.
They would put on these great things. He let me host the talent show when I'm in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So I'm up there like riffing when it's like one of my positive memories. So it's like, I want to go back and like help out that way. But I do think that's, to me right now, it's a little separate from my output. You know, it's not, I don't think I can communicate the ideas that I'm passionate about in a way that's also funny, because I am very staunchly on the like, I'm a laughs per minute guy. And that's maybe why I want to do maybe a little acting or write something, do a show, because you can be a little more interested. You could more complex ideas that way. Whereas I think stand up, I love it. It's my favorite thing in the
Depends
world.
what your audience is. And like, lately
True,
I've been
that's
sort
true.
of, you know what I mean? Because you do build, when you get an audience, you have manifested it.
True.
So you're looking at a reflection of some kind.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then, you have to decide, like, is this who I am? That guy?
Right.